It's the fourth installment of the Battle of Alberta. The Rush looking for their first ever season sweep tonight on the Lacrosse Network. Good evening, lacrosse fans. Welcome to Rexall Place in Edmonton. Jason Gregor along with former NLL player Kevin Howard, member of both the Rush and Roughnecks at one point in his career. The Edmonton Rush came into this season, Kevin, where they were thoroughly dominated every year by the Roughnecks. The record was 5-23 in the regular season. The Rush, though, have won all three games, have scored 15 goals in every game. And I think that more than anything shows that this team really has arrived in the regular season when they've been able to defeat a team that has dominated them more than anyone else.
Yeah, and they put a real stamp on this season. They have an opportunity to go 3-0 against the Roughnecks here tonight, 4-0. But I think the biggest difference of this Rush team is not so much of the goals that they've put up. That's impressive, but the goals that they've allowed. Goals against average of less than 9, which is unheard of in this league, and it speaks volumes of the record that they've posted on the season so far. Goals 45-26 in favor of Edmonton in this season series, and these two teams very easily could match up again in the West Final in a few weeks. New playoff format will have Calgary. They've already secured second place. They will face either Colorado or Vancouver. Colorado on the brink of clinching a playoff spot. And then, of course, Edmonton will await the winner of that and actually start on the road in Calgary or Colorado and Vancouver on May 9th or 10th. So, the Roughnecks, they came in, their head coach is very aware of the opportunity to send a message, is what Kirk Malosky told me, Kevin. And being a former player, we always hear about the term sending messages. Do you believe it works? Yeah, I do, and you know what? I'm a firm believer of teams peaking at the right time, and so many teams get on a run, they go 8-0, 10-0 early, they lose a couple, and they can't get that swagger back, they can't get that groove back. So it's all about ramping it up at the right time. I think it was actually a good thing for this Edmonton team to lose. Everyone look at one another, see what they know what it takes to win, obviously, but they look around the room and they get that feeling. You get that taste early enough in the season. Their streak was halted at 14 games. They get it early, and then they can regroup, see what it takes, and adjust their game plan. And everyone in the league is adjusting to their style and how they've been playing. They can tweak it and keep changing their style of play so it doesn't happen again.
Well, the Edmonton Rush, it's funny you say that, because Derek Keenan talked about it. He doesn't want to have losers of 2 out of 3. Meanwhile, Calgary, on the other hand, they told me they feel like, we can get Rush thinking about some things if we can defeat them, and now that's 2 losses in their last 3 games. So there is a lot on the line tonight. Nothing that will impact the standings themselves. Edmonton's guaranteed to finish first in the West. Calgary is guaranteed to finish second in the West, but this has always been a heated rivalry. We've seen line brawls before in this series. We've seen a lot of fights earlier this year. So, as always, I expect a high, intense game tonight. And Frankie Chiliano will get the start in goal instead of Mike Poulin. And Malosky said, I just want my backup to be ready just in case something happens come playoff time.
Well, that's good. I mean, that is a good thing. You do want to keep your starter fresh. Mike Poulin, obviously the clear-cut number 1, but never a bad thing to keep the guy waiting in the wings. Give him some minutes. Give him the confidence that, hey, here's the start. Run with it. See what you can do against the top team in the league. Really, no pressure on Calgary tonight. They've already clinched the playoffs, but again, everyone has pride. They're going to play hard tonight. It's going to be a great contest, and Chiliano will have a very tough test against this high-octane Edmonton Rush offense.
One quick lineup change for the Edmonton Rush. John Lintz received a major. He was ejected from a game back in March in Rochester on the 29th. Appealed that, and the appeal came through. He lost, and now 3 weeks later he will serve that 1-game suspension tonight. So John Lintz, in case anybody's wondering why he is out of the lineup, due to a suspension from the game in Rochester over 3 weeks ago.
Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all thy son's commands. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Loud and proud, Rush.
Thank you to Edmonton's own Julie Adams.
Starting goaltenders tonight. We mentioned for the road Calgary Roughnecks, Frankie Chiliano comes in with a record of 0-1, a goals against average of 12.4, and a save percentage of 7.47. Aaron Bold will get his 16th start of the season. He is 14-1 with a goals against average, leading the league at 8.7 and a save percentage of .79. Many wondering if Brody McDonald, who did get the start in Colorado last week and then unfortunately suffered an injury, Kevin, and Bold had to play the final half. The Rush have the bye week, and Derek Keenan feels it's necessary to have his starter play tonight and next weekend because he doesn't want him going 2 out of 3 weeks not playing.
And I totally agree with that. You can get a little bit of rust, just like the NFL. You know, the teams in the wild card come off fresh, and they're ready to go, ready to play. You want all your starters playing and playing at full tilt, seeing that game action. You can practice all you want, but it's not the same as seeing that game action and being mentally prepared and getting in the game.
And should let all of our viewers aware, you will see the shot clock is at center today. They had one of the shot clocks malfunction during warm-up. A ball smacked it, broke it. And due to the NLL rules, you can't have the shot clock at one end of the floor and not at the other because that's a distinct advantage to one team. So they move it to the middle of the floor, and they will have the in-house announcer mention 10 seconds, and then he will do a countdown from 5 until 1. They are currently, from what I understand, trying to get 2 new shot clocks here, and likely will have them for the second half. But that is the reason why you will see the shot clock at midfield tonight. Starting lineups for the visiting Calgary Roughnecks: Curtis Manning, Mike Carnegie, Curtis Dixon, Jeff Shatler, and the league's leader in faceoffs, Jeff Schneider, who comes in at 65%. For the Edmonton Rush: Kyle Rubish, Curtis Knight, Chris Corbeil, John LaFontaine, and Jeremy Thompson, who comes in 4th in the NLL at 53.6. When these two teams played last Saturday, Kevin, though, it was 50% in the faceoff dot. Jeremy Thompson has done a lot of studying on the Schneider brothers in the offseason and has found a way to at least keep it respectable. And last week for him, almost a victory, going 50% in the draw, which against Schneider is a huge victory considering he has dominated the league in faceoffs basically since he came into the league.
That's one hole this Edmonton Rush team has had for years, and Jeremy Thompson has really solved that. All you can do is ask for him to, break even with the Schneider brothers, Bob Schneider and Jeff Schneider, both being 2 excellent face-off guys, and give his wingman a chance to come get this loose ball.
And we are underway, and the Rush get the first draw. Thompson worked really a lot on just reading the moves of Schneider and trying to be quicker than him, and it's a work in progress, but he's gotten a lot better this year as the Rush come out. Corey Conway, 6 assists shy of setting a season record for the Rush. Matthews across tonight, quick shot, stopped. Chiliano rebound, picked up by Knight to Church. And Conway comes back on with Matthews and Greer. Matthews shoots, scores! Mark Matthews unleashes a bullet for his 28th, and the Rush lead 1-0, 36 seconds in.
Shot from way outside, little bit of a pick. Mark Matthews comes around it and just fires one that Chiliano did not see. It's very clear on that because he was late moving his hand. But far side, top shelf, Mark Matthews opens the scoring. 36 seconds in.
And Matthews needs 3 more points to set a franchise record in a season. Ryan Ward had it at 75. Matthews likely to break that before the night is out. The Roughnecks also, Sean Evans and Dane Doby both looking at franchise records. Doby to Shatler, and we are tied at 1. 53 seconds in. Buckle up. We could be in for a high-octane game.
Great Barrie, Calgary Roughnecks, first offense of the game. Shatler and Dane Doby, 2 of the leaders, taking it to the net. Good pick and roll play. Just a little bit of a mismatch on D. And they pick on the low guy. Shatler getting that over top of the rush defender and just popping it right over Bold's shoulder. 1-1 tie.
Oh. Arnett and Doby with the assists, and we are tied at 1 as the Roughnecks with possession. Evans juggles it in the neutral zone. He'll float it near side to Doby. Doby with the high sock on the left leg. Doby now whistles it across. Evans back to Shatler off the end of his stick. Right in front of the bench, and Ranger will just roll it into the corner. And it will be rush possession.
And just a reminder again, everybody, we're working with 1 shot clock right now.
And the rush bringing across center. Knight
If you're looking for the shot clock, it's located
to Conway.
Apologies
As
for
he
that.
comes on, Greer.
We are working.
Lowen looking to set a pick. Greer through the middle. Falling back to Davis. Conway in front. Misses a streak in low, and now Greer. He gets to it. Greer. Davis has a lane. Walks in. Wade shoots. Scores! Jared Davis on his off wing with a little hesitation move, and then bounces one through Chiliano's feet, and it's 2-1 Edmonton.
Tough night for the Tenders. The Edmonton Rush offense goes 2 for 2. Jared Davis getting that pass up high, and just the sea parted for him. Goes to the net hard. Good hard pump fake, and the 5-hole opens up on Chiliano, and he buries it for a quick second goal for this Edmonton team.
Off the draw, Thompson wins it off the boards. Thompson now coming in with Knight. Thompson doesn't force it. Spins into the middle, away from Shatler. Back to Church, down low. Knight loses the ball. Manning now pushes him up against the glass. Knight's able to come free. Back to Davis. Davis on his wrong side again. Matthews across to Knight. Looking at Matthews. And Matthews was off balance and stepped in the crease. And that'll be a violation, and Roughnecks ball. 2.5 minutes gone. 2-1 Edmonton.
Just watching Chiliano, he's a little shaky. He doesn't exactly know where he is on these nets. He's going back and forth, and he's bumping the net off the well, there's no moorings, but off the line, and just looks a little rattled. Can't find his groove.
And right in front, crease violation, Dane Doby. He wants the challenge flag, as most scorers do. We'll see. I don't look like he was in the crease. And Calgary elects not to throw the challenge flag. Greer off the boards. Pump fakes back to Church. Church down low into the corner. Knight to Conway. Matthews back across. Knight hesitation shot, little roller, and Chiliano got down nicely to make the stop. And Schneider has it at center. Schneider having a very good offensive season for the Roughnecks already with 15 goals. Evans working on Cornwall. Evans trying to bowl his way in. Evans now through a lane, falls, shovels it back, shooting his Veltman, and Bold out to challenge, makes the save. And Rubish ahead to Cornwall. That's Jeff. Yep. Lowen on the far right boards. Matthews comes in, so they go back to Church. Church across the line, into the corner to Conway. Little pump fake across over the stick of Church. He gets it off the boards to Lowen. Back to Church. Davis. Matthews. Pump fake. Fire, scores! Mark Matthews beating Chiliano clean from the well outside, and it's 3-1.
As I mentioned earlier, Chiliano having a tough time finding where he is in the pipes. Mark Matthews with a good hard fake. Shot clock was down at 3 seconds. Kind of froze him just inside the restraining line, and Mark Matthews took two pumps, 2 side steps, and the wide open left part of the net opened up, and he rifled it from way outside.
Little hesitation, and you see Chiliano, and I actually think he was in the middle of the net, Kevin. He just misjudged the speed of that ball. And that's clearly a shot he would like to stop. And off the draw, Thompson moves early. So it'll procedure Edmonton, and it's Roughnecks ball. Schneider to Dixon, who prior to this year was an absolute rush killer. Went 7 straight games scoring a hat trick in every game. Schattler, shovel pass, misses everyone, goes to the far boards. Now Ranger running for it. Beats LaFontaine, shovels it, down low. Bold kicks out the shot, rebound picked up by Calgary. They'll reset, settle it down. Out to Veltman, near side to Doby. Doby, Dixon, great job to get that pass, keep it onside. To Ranger, off the boards, Doby, firing off the foot of Bold. Rebound controlled again by Calgary, another second possession.
And this is what this Calgary offense has to do to wear this high, I guess, very athletic rush defense. Maybe slow them down by keeping them out on the floor in these second and third opportunities.
Coming down the left side is Dixon, shielding the ball away from Corbeil. Being pressured, in behind the net, Dixon now just turns it over right to Thompson. And Thompson will run the floor, he's got Knight, busting through the lane, doesn't force it, shovels it back to Davis, to Greer. Greer walking in, firing wide on the short side. Bounces out to center, Matthews has it, back to Greer. He was gonna quick stick it, dropped it, and now he'll settle it down. Greer on Schattler. Greer out high to Davis, through the middle. Davis shooting wide on the near side, back to Knight. Knight shot, stopped, and Chiliano makes the save just as the shot clock expired. Once again, if you're watching at home, there's only one shot clock in the building so far, and it's at center. And it malfunctioned with one in warm-up. 4:40 gone, 3-1 Edmonton. Shot 7-4. Veltman right on the crease, elects not to shoot. They'll go back to Dixon. Evans coming in with speed. Waits, dumps it off, and then Ranger just fanned on a shot right on top of the crease. And then
The call on the field was through the crease to get the ball.
Crease violation. Rangers down in the corner. The referee was right there saying no, he felt like Ranger was trying to sell this. Now Ranger gets up slowly, and it'll be Edmonton's ball when we return. They lead 3-1 as you're watching the NLL on the Lacrosse Network.
Get some new team gear for the season by visiting the NLL shop online. Go to shop.nll.com for the best prices and selection on clothing and accessories for all 9 teams. With flat rate shipping and no hassle returns, the NLL shop is placed for all things NLL. Visit shop.nll.com today, powered by Fanatics.
Jason Gregor along with Kevin Howard, 3-1 Edmonton leading. Matthews with a pair of goals. Davis with the other. Davis down low to Knight. Knight through the middle, shot blocked by Harnett. Ricochets off the boards, and it's picked up by Calgary. Now they'll run to center. Harnett to Schneider. Schneider coming in on Greer, just bowls him over and scores. The old-fashioned bull rush move by Schneider puts Greer on his rear end and then buries it for his 16th, and it's 3-2 Edmonton.
Great power move by Jeff Snyder. A little bit of transition, staying out there, running the floor, and Cornwall could not contain him, just bowls him right over. Sorry, Zach Greer could not contain him, bowls him right over. I think Jarrett Davis, instead of going to the bench there, I think he would have been best served maybe slowing up the play. Instead, he elected to go off and get a defender at the back gate. Very important as well, but he could have disrupted that play a little bit more.
Oh, John Harnett in on both goals for the Roughnecks. Something you wouldn't expect coming in with 13 points on the season. Matthews across to Davis, back to Knight, to Lowen. Lowen to Conway, and he dropped it, looking to quick stick it. Hustling into the corner is Knight. He comes away with it. Knight, great effort. Can't get the shot away to Davis. And that'll be a shot clock violation. Tough for the players because they look up. Davis was looking for the clock, and there isn't one there. I don't know what it is today. You saw the Raptors shot clock go down in the NBA playoffs, and now the Rush one went down tonight. Oh, Evans. Evans coming in, working on Cornwall. Doesn't shoot it. to Dixon. Dixon to Dobie. Veltman in front. Shatler off the post, and it stays out. Mitski right there. And then Mitski loses it. Wide open. Shatler shooting. He switches hands, and Bold stoned him right on the crease. And Bilic runs the center. Bilic sat out last Saturday's game in Calgary, but he's back healthy after an injury in Colorado. Drops the ball. That's 2 forced turnovers by the Roughnecks, and now they pick it up. 3-on-1. Rubish the low man back. Pressuring Harnett in front. Bounce shot stopped, and then he ran in the crease. Aaron Bold making some huge saves. Some high percentage turnovers here by the Rush. Midway through the first quarter, 3-2 Edmonton. Shots even at 7. Church through the middle to Conway. Fakes the pass. Conway. Now through the middle. Conway has a lane. Fires, and Chiliano slides. Makes the shoulder save into the corner, and it's picked up by Manning. Dump passes a quick ahead of the line. Walking in. Leanne to Dobie. Firing. Stopped again. Aaron Bold. 3 point-blank stops in a row to keep this Rush lead at 1. Back come Edmonton. Into Calgary territory now. Bounce pass to Davis off the bench late. Davis tonight leading the Russian goals with 32. Davis. Shot fake by Sorgetti. Sorgetti now across, pass intercepted, and back again come the Roughnecks with some speed. Through the middle, Dobie. Dobie bounce shot well wide of the net. Edmonton had too many men on the floor, and they got away with one there. That was pretty obvious. It'll be Rush ball. 2 officials we haven't seen in Edmonton this season anyway, Kevin.
Yeah, Chris Williams and Roger Nurse, 2 unfamiliar faces.
Letting them play early. We've seen no penalties. Lowen coming in around the defense, and he put it over top of the net. Nice move, but he couldn't finish. And the Roughnecks continue to really push the pace in transition. Manning coming in on Corbeil. Manning spins off. He'll dump it back to Shatler. Still one of the quickest guys in the league. Shatler to... They dump it around.
10.
Dobie on the boards. Dixon shot right into the pocket of Corbeil. And now Corbeil's going to run. Corbeil with Dixon all over him. Corbeil protects the ball nicely. Spin, shoots, stopped. And then Corbeil was rocked to the floor before he could get the rebound.
And there's Corbeil playing with all sorts of confidence. He's only 4 goals shy of the mark set by Brody Merrill in 2010 with 17 goals. So he is putting together an outstanding offensive season in transition. Usually a pure defender, but he's definitely jumping in the mix this season, and confidence to go with it.
And the pass, Ranger got in behind the defense on the 2-man pick and roll, but the pass just out of his reach from Evans, who is 8 assists shy of tying the record he set last year for Calgary's franchise record of 80 assists. Heck of a season for him. Looks like another 100-point season. Off the bench, Matthews. He's caught from behind. Good job by Mike Carnegie to pop that ball loose, and back come the Roughnecks. Schneider. Schneider's shot. Stop. And the rebound. Schneider gets to it. Manning's down in the crease. He's hurt. Now he'll get up and go to the bench. Dixon Ange comes on. Waits for some help as Veltman and Evans come on late. Evans near side to Shatler. Shatler away from Dilks. Shatler now turns on the Jets. Stopped by Bold. Dobie, shot, sharp angle, stopped again. And it's picked up by Dilks. Man, the Roughnecks are getting a lot of point-blank chances. Aaron Bold's keeping the rush in this game. Dilks to Greer. Lowen in the corner. Lowen across the crease. Knight spins, and he can't get the shot away now. Greer waits. Chiliano was down, and he missed the net. And it looks like we've got the shot clocks back up and running. We'll see if they get them going, likely after the TV timeout. Here comes the older Cornwall brother tonight. That's Travis playing for Calgary. To Dixon. Dixon waiting. Pump fakes. Back out high in the neutral zone. Veltman. The Dobie. Dobie. On Cornwall. Nice behind the back pass to Veltman, and he's caught from behind by LaFontaine. A shot stopped by Bold, and right now it's the Aaron Bold show keeping the Rush in this game as they lead 3-2 as you're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stenhouse loses check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
It's anticipation. It's excitement. It's the desire to win. It's hearing the crowd get loud. Come see your Colorado Mammoth as it takes on the Edmonton Rush, April 11th at 7 p.m. on Health One Field at Pepsi Center. Visit coloradomammoth.com.
Maybe they might have to wait till the half now. No, they should just get the shot clock going now. Be ready for both. They were trying out some shot clocks at the timeout and looked like both were working. So maybe we'll wait until the end of the quarter. What do you see in the Rush defense? Hasn't given up this many point-blank shots, Kevin, in a quarter all year. What is Calgary's offense doing, or what is Edmonton's defense not doing?
I think it's more what the Calgary defense in the transition is doing. They're pushing the pace, and usually they're getting one or two Rush offensive players caught out there. These offensive players, they don't play, like everyone can play defense, but not to the skill or the talent level that these Edmonton Rush players can, or the defenders can. When you're a pure defender, that's all you do. And they're not in sync, they're not in the right mindset. You pick on that. A lot of two-man game. Kurt Malowski, one of the best off-ball players, and very good at the two-man game, and I'm sure he's relayed that to his players to get out there, and that's what opens up holes.
Greer and Matthews, and Greer right on the doorstep, can't get the shot away as Manning forces the turnover, and quickly they push it up the floor again. You see Calgary, the minute they get possession, two of their defenders are running right up the center to catch Edmonton in transition. Evans now in the middle. Shatler pass deflected to Dobie, and now Shatler pushes it to the boards up against Thompson and Mitski. Thompson comes out of the maze of players, headmans it up to Bilic on McFetridge, and he'll just stop, dump it to Lowen. Waiting for Matthews and Church to come on the floor. Back to Matthews. And they're going to say that's a moving pick play. Now, McFetridge wanted to get it up quickly. He couldn't. Now he controls it, and he'll trot to center.
And there's an example we're talking about. You look up, and you had three Calgary Roughnecks breaking the floor and really stretching the field early. That the Rush players have no choice. They can't go to the bench. They have to get back in the hole right away.
I think shot clock now down to 7. Dobie shot off a stick into the corner. Evans gets it right in front. Stoned by Bold again is Shatler. Rebound kick to the corner. Evans picks it up for Calgary. Evans. And we've got a whistle. Not sure what Bold's mask is off. Okay. Don't really want the goalie without a helmet on. Calgary has had some outstanding opportunities, Kevin, right on the doorstep, and they can't bury them. Roughnecks again, under a minute to go, 3-2 Edmonton. Evans to Veltman, down low. Dixon, he had a step, dropped it, and Corbeil comes up with it. Corbeil now, away from Evans. Corbeil with some speed, Person down the right side, across the line, fire, scores! Chris Corbeil unleashes his 15th goal of the season, 14th, and the Rush lead 4-2.
And the Edmonton Rush showing off a little bit of their transition. Chris Corbeil ripping home his 14th goal of the season. An absolute laser, a 2-on-1, and the Roughnecks defender elected to basically just let him shoot, shut off the pass. Bad decision, and he rifles it past a struggling Chiliano with their 4th goal of the quarter.
Well, the Roughnecks win the draw. They have possession. There's Dixon working on LaFontaine. Back out high to Veltman. Near side Doby. Schattler in front. They go back to Veltman. To Dixon. Dixon coming in on Cornwall. Dixon spinning, shooting. Bull got a piece of it. Rolls to the far corner. Now this will be the last shot. Schattler, 11 seconds. Extra attacker on it. They're trying to call a timeout, and now they get one with 5.6 seconds remaining.
And they might pump that up a little bit, maybe 2 seconds, which is a lot of time in the game of lacrosse. And I think if Kurt Molosky had his way, he probably would have 4 seconds added, because he was waving pretty ferociously, trying to get the ref's attention to call the timeout a little earlier.
And I think you see the officials going over the penalty bench. They're likely going to get maybe 2 or 3 more seconds put on. So we'll see Veltman, Dixon, Evans, Ranger, Schattler, and Doby. Dane Doby with 47 goals, looking to set a new franchise record. Lewis Ratcliffe scored 50 back in 2007. Granted, that was a 16-game season. Of course, this is the first time either one of these teams has played a 17th game of the year, and they gave him 2 extra seconds. So here's Veltman. Doby shooting, scores! With 2.5 seconds to go, he gets his 48. And the Roughnecks are within 1.
Well, Dane Doby, an absolute cannon. You mentioned he's got 47, now 48 on the season. One guy you do not want to leave open. And Dilks had his guy, but you know what? Just good hard work right in the middle of the floor by Evans to put a little bump pick and not allow Cornwall to break through and get out there on that high guy. Great set play, very simple and effective. Dane Doby pulls within 1 to end the first quarter.
Shots in favor of the Roughnecks, 13-10. Coming into this game, Edmonton had averaged a league low 41 shots against per game. Calgary well ahead of that pace already through 1 quarter, as they trail 4-3, but outshoot their home rush by a total of 13-10. After 15 minutes, it's Rush 4, Roughnecks 3 as you're watching National Lacrosse League.
Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a fan with team merchandise from the National Lacrosse League official online store, shop.nll.com. You'll find a great selection of National Lacrosse League team items, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, accessories, and more. You'll also find great customer service, 365-day hassle-free returns, and fast shipping. So show the world you support the National Lacrosse League with official gear from shop.nll.com.
Evans, flip pass. Here's a shot. Dixon to the net, scores! Curtis Dixon again! It's 11-10 Calgary.
Want more great NLL action? Subscribe to the Lacrosse Network on your computer, tablet, or mobile device for access to all the games, live on YouTube. Get highlight reels, interactive player interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage on all your favorite teams. YouTube.com/TLN. Subscribe today.
The next Edmonton Rush home game is on Friday, April 25th, as the Rush host the Vancouver Stealth here at Rexall Place. Game time is 7:30 p.m. Tickets for this and the first ever Rush home playoff game, Friday, March 16th at 8 p.m., are now on sale. Visit EdmontonRush.com to order yours today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you may be able to see, we now have regular shot clocks at both ends. The other one is...
Of course, that playoff game's in May, not March. And there's Greer right off the draw, scoring 7 seconds in. Wow. The Rush, like they did in the first quarter, Kevin. Score on their opening possession. This time, though, directly off the faceoff. Something we don't see is Zach Greer on a faceoff.
Well, there's the value of having Jeremy Thompson take that draw and win it cleanly, and Zach Greer just going to the net. Offensive player out there sneaking in behind. Zach Greer getting it right on the crease, pumping far side, and gets a good clean shot away. 5-hole on Chiliano. Pardon me, over the shoulder on Chiliano. A little struggling. 5th goal out of 12 shots for this Edmonton team.
Well, Greer now with 29, same as Matthews. Dobie with his 48th earlier tonight. Sean Evans back outside. Dixon to Dobie. Dobie coming in from a sharp angle. Shot stopped by Bold. Wasn't a crease violation either, so that would have counted as Billick quickly speeds down the floor. Billick looking for Greer. He reaches out. He's able to get it off the boards. And then Matthews
Ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned for the Calgary.
Struggled with that one, and it's a turnover, and here comes Calgary.
We'll give everyone in the stands a free 100 over Calgary.
Greg Arnett, near side to Evans. Into the corner, Dixon. Beltman comes on, as does Ranger, and now Dobie, the 5th man. Dixon with a bullet submarine shot that misses wide, and that will ricochet all the way down the floor, and that'll be over and back, and it will be Edmonton ball. So Matthews picks it up, and now they whistle it in. Lowen. Now he'll switch, and Matthews comes off the circle. Matthews in behind the net. Church back out high. Knight can't get the shot away. Knight through the middle. Lowen with some speed. Shooting. Stopped by Chiliano. Manning. And he has Cornwall wide open at center bit. Gets it off the boards. Cornwall coming in. Leung back to Cornwall. Right on the crease. Shooting. Bold stops him. And LaFontaine picks it back as Calgary's game plan is the minute Edmonton shoots, one defender is vacating the zone. And it's been working. As the rush moving around, Lowen down low to Greer. Back to Davis. Davis near side, Greer. Shooting stopped. And then Greer got spun around looking for the rebound. Now he gets it, takes a hit, passes it to Davis to Conway. Shot clocks are back working for our viewers at home. Rush make a change as Church comes in. Now pass misses off the boards. Matthews picks it up. Lays his shoulder into Schneider. Around. Now Matthews across. Quick stick. What a save. Chiliano robbing Church. And now here's a race for the loose ball, but Mitski beats him to it. Now Brett Mitski. He'll dump it down to Matthews. Matthews back to Mitski, and the pass hit him in the stick. Dropped it, and it's picked up by Calgary. Off the bench, here's Dixon. He's got a breakaway. Scores! As this transition game continues to heat up in Edmonton.
Curtis Dixon, the former rush killer, finding his groove again. Hot off the bench. Good fast break goal. Good change up and taking it hard to the net. And you know what? Derek Keenum might want to have a peek at that. Curtis Dixon's foot dangerously close to that line, but walking a tightrope, and none of the Rush coaching staff is even concerned about challenging that. But great goal by Curtis Dixon. Charging hard and put it over the left shoulder of Bold. Just a great sniper shot to pull within one in the second quarter.
Well, they're going to redo this. I guess they're going to say Thompson had a face-off violation, so Schneider has it. Schneider stumbles, but he's able to regain possession. Pass knocked down by Rubish. And now Rubish floats it ahead. Now here's a race for it. Picked up by Bilic. Bilic with Greer coming off the bench. Bilic with Knight and Matthews. To Matthews. Shot hit a stick. Now Greer avoids the contact as they all battle for the ball. Bilic in front of the Rush bench, and that's going to be hold. Yes, it'll be a loose ball push against Calgary or hold. And Corbeil has it. And he'll go back to the bench as Church to Knight. Dane Dobie's on the floor. We'll see if they go at him. Right in front, Knight doesn't shoot it to Conway. Back to Knight. Now Church comes off the board. Church shooting, stopped by Chiliano, rebound. Nice defensive play by Doby, and Leon running the floor. Leon to Evans. Evans scores. And Calgary's transition continues to give Edmonton fits.
Well, Carson Leon, great heads-up play, but there he was as soon as that turnover happened, which was a great defensive play by Dane Doby, holding up Curtis Knight, really boxing him out. Leon had the awareness to get the ball, head right up the floor, and there was a 92-point guy streaking hard off the bench in Evans, getting that, burying it right in the top corner to tie this game at 5.
And back come the Roughnecks. Their game plan is they don't want to let Edmonton get set up defensively. Once they do, no one can attack them. It's been that way all year long. You can't break down their defense one-on-one, so they'll try to beat them in transition, and it's working. We're tied at 5. 11 minutes to go in the half. Shatler working on Rubish. Can't beat him. Now Shatler back out high. Evans shot well wide. Might have hit a stick, and Veltman gets it. Veltman, he'll just roll it into the corner. That'll be a shot clock violation. Rush possession. As Rubish gains speed, comes to center. No penalties called so far in this game. Matthews, hard pass. Off the boards, Conway gets it. Conway, around Harnett. Conway shooting, stopped by Chiliano. Then hit into the net, and now here's a long outlet pass. Picked up in stride. That's McIntosh, he doesn't shoot it. Everybody's running the floor tonight for the Roughnecks. Evans. Down low to Dixon. Back to Evans. Shatler drops it. Dilks right on him. Shatler gets it back now. Shatler and Davis stick handling with it, and that'll be a shot clock violation. It will be Edmonton possession. And when we return, rush ball. Shots are 18-16 now in favor of Edmonton. We are tied at 5 as you're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
This is Buffalo Bandits Lacrosse. Get your tickets now, starting at just $28, or your McDonald Family 4-pack for just $89. Don't miss the hard-hitting, high-scoring action this season.
Score! Stainhouse loses check, takes a shot, he scores!
Tickets are available at the First Niagara Center box office, online at bandits.com, or by phone at 1-888-467-2273. See you in Banditland.
It's anticipation. It's excitement. It's the desire to win. It's hearing the crowd get loud. Come see your Colorado Mammoth as it takes on the Edmonton Rush, April 11th at 7 p.m. on Health One Field at Pepsi Center.
The Calgary Roughnecks will host either Colorado or Vancouver in the West Division semifinal playoff game at the Scotiabank Saddledome. The game time is 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now by visiting CalgaryRoughnecks.com.
Jason Gregor along with Kevin Howard, 5-5, Rush and Roughnecks. It's been a track meet so far tonight, led by Calgary. They're really trying to push the pace in transition. Matthews over to Church, looking in front to Greer, misses it. Now Lowen hustles to get the loose ball. Lowen comes in front, switches hands. Chiliano stops him. Then ball's loose right on the crease. And that's a huge battle for it. And we've got Harnett down on the floor in all sorts of discomfort. Not sure what happened to him. Maybe just the way he fell.
It might have clipped knee on knee.
It's quite the collision here. We see. Oh, I think Lowen got him stick right on the side of his face. Little maybe mesh rash. Evans to Shatler. Shatler working on Mitski. Sharp angle. Mitski runs him into the corner. Now the ball free on the other side, picked up by the Roughnecks. Ranger, and he's rocked to the floor by Rubish. Physical game tonight, and I love the officials letting them play. Now you got McFedrich and Rubish. McFedrich wants to try to get him into a fight here as Matthews. On the other end they go. 3-on-4 rush waiting. Matthews to Conway. Conway backpedaling, waiting to Matthews. Sharp angle, scores! Hat-trick goal. Mark Matthews, his 30th of the season, to regain the lead.
In and out of his stick, extremely fast. A quick stick goal by Mark Matthews, just slides in back door, slips away from the Calgary Roughnecks defender, getting in behind and burying it past Chiliano, who could not get a shoulder or a hand over there quick enough to pull ahead 6-5.
On a nice pass by Conway. Conway having himself a heck of a season. I don't know if you'd ask anybody around the league if they thought Conway would have 67 points at this juncture this year. He's been a huge offensive addition for Edmonton. Really unexpected after the season he had last year. He'd have a good summer league, and a lot of people felt he'd continue it, and he has. Rush right on the offense again. There's Matthews, had the hot stick tonight. Pass across, Knight gets it off the boards. Down to 5 seconds. Knight waiting around the defense, shooting, and Chiliano down, makes the stop. Of course, shot clock's fixed now.
You're talking about the turnaround with Corey Conway. I noticed it was probably about game 5 of the season where Corey Conway started running the top of the power play. When the coach shows that kind of confidence in you, you become a much different, better player, and Corey Conway has really taken that opportunity and run with it and putting up some big numbers in this league this season.
Evans coming in, shovel pass in front, and it's knocked down by Rubish. He'll punch it ahead to LaFontaine. LaFontaine slowly in as we near the halfway point of the second quarter. Davis, dangerous pass, and it rolls to LaFontaine. Davis wide open as Matthews, and Chiliano down to make the stop. And McFedrich with some speed. Now he'll wheel into Edmonton territory. Backpedals into the corner, doesn't shoot it. There is a lot of speedsters on both sides of the floor tonight. You could have a relay race, and there'd be a hell of a battle between the Roughnecks and the Rush. There's a big hit, Bilic, but Dobie falling, and he bounces it out of play.
You know, it looks like the reason Calgary's got the legs to be able to do this, they're running 9 guys out the back gate, only 6 guys on offense. So, and Shatler's one of those offensive guys running out the front gate. So they have plenty of fresh bodies, and they have the ability to run and sprint the floor every single time with a lot of heat.
Working in his Knight. Schneider right on him. Knight back to Greer. Cornwall got the interference call even though he went down. And back comes Calgary. Manning across center. Into the zone, shooting off the blocker of Bull. That was off the stick of Harnett. And now finally the Roughnecks get the 5th attacker on. Dobie and Dixon. Dixon comes on late. Dixon waiting. Fakes the shot. Now he'll let it go and scores. Curtis Dixon rips one to tie this game at 6.
Curtis Dixon, his 2nd goal of the quarter, coming on strong. Good heavy pump fake going round a hard big screen. A 2-man stack right in the middle. Loses his defender in that body, and a real tough shot to make. A sidearm going far side where he just came from. Very difficult shot for a right-handed player to make. Aaron Bold would love to have that one back, but man, you can't make much better shot than that. This game is tied at 6.
Off the draw. Schneider wins it. We're going to have a penalty. First one of the night. It'll go against the Rush. Extra attacker coming on. And the Roughnecks with the possession. They'll just take their time. Set play to Veltman. 6-on-5. Veltman to Evans. Evans behind the back. Dixon shot, and he put it wide on the far side. And that'll be a shot clock violation, and it will be the first penalty of the night, and it'll be a tripping call to Jeremy Thompson, and the league's best power play will have their first opportunity.
Well, you put together Sean Evans coming into this game, had 92 points. You look at Dane Dobie with 78. Of course, he's the trigger guy with 47 goals coming into this game, and then you looked at Jeff Shattler, 3 dangerous guys, and then you put Curtis Dixon up there, who's hot as of this quarter, 2 goals in the last 3, and not the group you want to see coming down on you. See if they can get out of this unscathed.
Well, here, walking in, Dixon shot, and that one went off a leg of Mitski. You don't want that. Dixon again, walking in, behind the back, shooting. Doby stopped by Bold. Bold holding, and now he's just going to bounce it. Here's a race for it. Dilks, and Veltman did a good job of tying up his stick. Now Dilks rushes to it, and you see Calgary leaving 2 guys in the offensive zone, so it's basically 3-on-2, and now Edmonton will make a change. Mitski and LaFontaine come on. Dixon, Doby, Ranger. Now Veltman and Ranger switch out. So Ranger comes on. Shattler, Evans up high. Evans backpedaling, waiting. Shattler over the shoulder. High shot, block. And here comes the race for it. Corbeil's going to have a breakaway if he can catch up to it. He does. Corbeil, and he missed wide, looking for his second of the night. And league leading 6 shorthanded goal. And here comes Calgary again. They've got 43 seconds left in the man advantage. Shattler, Doby, Ranger, Dixon, and Evans the ball carrier. Evans behind the back. Dixon scores. 3rd of the night, power play goal, and Calgary has their first lead.
Well, the great setup man, Evans, right at the top, a nonchalant behind the back goal, basically drawing Jeff Cornwall over. He has to go over, or Evans is going to rip that from there. Just a little behind the back dump, and Curtis Dixon bearing his 3rd goal of the quarter, his 2nd straight on the power play. A good sidearm rocket beating Bold to take their first lead of the game.
Evans and Doby with the assists. And Calgary right back on the offense. Calgary going with the 6 forwards and 10 defenders, and they've really been able to run the floor. There's Evans. Working on Dilks. Evans stripped of the ball by Dilks. Goes and gets it back. Evans now long pass across the floor. Doby spinning. Sorketti recovers, and then Doby backhander off of Bold. They dump it back to Dixon. Dangerous 6-tuplet of forwards for the Roughnecks. There's a high pass off the boards right back to Evans. Lows to Doby. Thompson on him. Lots of time left in the shot clock. Now they push him out to the neutral zone. Evans. Bilic right in his face. Ball's loose. And it rolls all the way into Edmonton, Calgary territory. Great job by Bilic in front of Calgary's bench. And we'll return. Roughnecks have the lead on the Lacrosse Network. You're watching the National Lacrosse League.
You can watch any NLL game from earlier this season on demand, thanks to the Lacrosse Network. Just go to NLL.com and click on Schedule from the main menu bar. Scroll to the game you'd like to watch and click Replay. It's any game, anytime from NLL.com and the Lacrosse Network.
Jason Gregor with Kevin Howard. 2:51 to go in the half. Calgary leads 7-6. Conway, Matthews, Lowen, Greer, and Knight on the floor. Conway, pass brought down. Knight now dumps it back to Greer. To Matthews. Waiting. Zings it across, shoots. Stopped by Chiliano. Nice pass. Knight got set. And Calgary trots cross center. Sean Evans to Dixon, who has 3 goals in this quarter. Now with 37 on the season. Doby to Shattler. Shattler back to Evans. Over to Dixon. Looking in front, and Mitski recovered. Doby wanted a call, but that was just a good play by Mitski. Got on the stick, and quickly across center. Bilic pass knocked down by Evans, and Calgary's going to go the other way. Evans being hounded by Bilic. Now Evans will go to the bench. Calgary makes a change. Shatler, Doby, and now Beltman on. Shatler, Bilic right on him. He drops it. Here comes Bilic. Edmonton has a 3-on-1. Bilic across, walking and shooting. He missed the net. I think we're going to have too many men for Calgary. Here's Greer. Dumps it back to Davis. Extra attacker on now for Edmonton. First time tonight they've had an extra guy on the floor. Haven't had a power play. This is their extra attacker. Shot clock down to 13. Church to Greer. Greer waits. Davis, Matthews. Across, down low to Greer. I think Manning got a piece of that to stop a wide open net. And we've got the call. Now Conway. Lots of chatting on the floor. Conway pushing and shoving. Manning wants a penalty. His helmet was off. Greer just kind of threw it to the ground. I'm not sure. Shouldn't be a penalty.
Looks like they are just getting the one. Great call. Good heads-up play. John Harnett left the box quite early. It was very clear Bilic was off to the races in stripping that ball from Evans and heading down the floor. Harnett left early, very clearly left way too early to shut down that scoring opportunity. Official caught that right away, and the in-home Dinsdale is going to sit down for 2. And we're going to have a first look at this Edmonton Rush power play.
Time penalty is 14:06. Penalty to the Calgary Roughnecks. A too-many-men bench minor penalty served by number 61 for Calgary.
So here, though, the Rush on the man advantage. They're first of the night. They come in 6th on the power play at 44.6%. And Calgary, they got the best special teams in the league. Number 1 power play, number 1 penalty kill. So there's Matthews. As the Rush circle it around. Conway now in front. Greer waiting, shooting, stop. And they're going to say it was a crease violation against Greer. Now Greer and Harnett pushing and shoving. Nothing comes of it. And now that'll be over and back. Yes, indeed, as Harnett just shovels it. So Edmonton now, less than 30 seconds to go. Likely we'll have and they're going to call a timeout.
Timeout has been called by the Edmonton Rush, so we are going to be...
You're on the man advantage, Kevin. So a lot of people wonder why you don't go 6-on-4.
Well, 6-on-4, unless you have a really good, flawless play, 6 guys just clusters things. You have that man advantage. You want the 2-on-1 somewhere else. You're just getting another body in there. You know, they could put 6 guys out there, and they might put 2 guys stacked in the middle. So really, you have 2 guys, 1 stick open on each side. So you have 1 guy bringing the ball in. You have 2 options in the middle. Essentially, 2 guys doing the job that 1 guy could do. But it'll be interesting. And unless they have one of those clear plays, you'll see them just set up the traditional 5-man power play unit on 4, get 1 good shot at the end of the quarter, and try to tie this game up at 7 going into the break.
Shots 25-23 in favor of Edmonton. So Greer, Matthews, Church, Knight, and Conway. Meanwhile, Calgary will counter with Manning, the Harnett brothers, and Mike Carnegie. Oh, Rush, lots of time. Likely will just set up and wait. Conway to Church to Matthews. Pass, hit a stick. Matthews gets it back. Now down to 8 seconds. Matthews to Church. Conway back to Church. Firing, and he missed the net. And the Rush just can't hit the net from good shooting range. And that ends the first half. The Roughnecks come back, scoring the 4 of the final 5 goals, and they lead 7-6. Rush outshoot Calgary 15-10 in that quarter, but they score fewer goals. Exactly what happened the opposite in the first quarter, where Edmonton got outshot but had more goals.
And Edmonton finds himself, in pretty familiar territory. Normally they outplay their opposition in the second quarter. That's when they normally come on, and they really turn it on in the third historically. But, of course, this Calgary defense is showing this Edmonton team something they've never seen. They've never played a team that has run and gun as much as this Calgary team. Great job by the coaching staff to, alter their game plan and, throw something at Edmonton that they hadn't seen. They didn't see this last week, so it's a radical change in game plan and different personnel in there, and really they are running the floor bad, and it's just something this Edmonton team they weren't expecting, so how can they expect it? They might have a chance to regroup, talk about it at halftime, adjust a little bit, and then address one or two key issues to slow down this offense.
Well, Edmonton came in this game outscoring their opponents 57-30 in the second quarter. Meanwhile, Calgary had been outscored 53-61, and Calgary really returns the tables on both of those, outscoring Edmonton 4-2 in that second quarter to take a 7-6 lead. On the out-of-town scoreboard, games with playoff implications, very low-scoring game, Kevin, out east. Rochester defeats Buffalo by a score of 8-4. Meanwhile, Colorado leading Minnesota 15-11 as Colorado looking for a playoff spot with that victory, which could make the Philly-Vancouver game worth nothing, really. So we'll see. You can watch all the games right here on the Lacrosse Network as you're watching the National Lacrosse League live in Edmonton at the half. Roughnecks lead the Rush 7-6.
Welcome to NLL Halftime. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Dave Walls. We'll get you back to your game in just a few minutes. Right now, let's get you caught up on the scores and standings as we go into Week 17 of the 2014 NLL season. As we get into the final weeks of the season, the playoff picture is almost secure. Let's take a look first at the NLL Eastern Division. Rochester's 12-4 record guarantees the Jayhawks of home field advantage through the first two rounds of the playoffs. They wind up the season with games tonight and in Week 18 against the Buffalo Bandits. After winning 8 out of their first 10 games, the Buffalo Bandits have now lost 6 straight games, losing to the Rock last night 13-9. Now, despite all of this, the Bandits can clinch a home playoff game with the win over the Nighthawks tonight. Toronto undefeated in April, outscoring their last 3 opponents 40-27. Their 8-9 record has them comfortably in the 3 slot in the East, and should Buffalo lose tonight, they could battle for a home playoff game next week in Week 18. Philadelphia and Minnesota have both been eliminated from playoff contention, both teams playing for pride and to avoid the dubious distinction of being in last place. Philly plays tonight in Vancouver on the Universal Sports Network, while Minnesota visits Colorado. The lone remaining battle for a playoff spot is in the NLL's Western Division. Edmonton has the overall number 1 seed in the playoffs locked up with their 15-1 record. However, expect Edmonton to come out swinging tonight to prove that one loss was just a fluke. They look for the season sweep of the Battle of Alberta tonight against Calgary. And speaking of Calgary, the Roughnecks have the number 2 seed secure with their 10-6 record. Discipline in an emotional game like tonight's matchup at Rexall Place against the Rush will be key for the Roughnecks as they look forward to the playoffs. However, the number 3 seed in the Western Division is still wide open. Colorado can clinch it tonight with a win over the Swarm, and they can also clinch it if Vancouver drops tonight's matchup to the Philadelphia Wings. Now, if Colorado loses and the Vancouver Stealth win, it sets up a very exciting Week 18 as both teams will have 1 game left to prove that they deserve to be in the 2014 NLL playoffs. That does it for this week of NLL Halftime. Thanks for watching. This is the National Lacrosse League.
Rawson left wing, up top Jamison, the shot, he scores! What a pretty pass to Craig Point.
Illegal screen, holding to goal, top shot, score! Cam's second of the game, a new career high, standing alone. The coach of the year on the visiting bench. Greer around his man, goes 5-hole and scores.
Now has some room, fires it in front, the shot, and he scored! Johnny Paulus, after at least 4 or 5 stick fakes.
Now nice pass to Veltman. Veltman passes on the opportunity. Back to Dovey, shoots and scores! Dane Dovey got two men on the sack, past two white jerseys in front, and Grant comes up with a score. How did that happen? I thought Matt McLeod had the ball.
That's just it. That was almost a version of the hidden ball trick.
Then gets the return pass. Nice move. Nice move. Another nice move. It scores! Oh my goodness! What a goal by Curtis Knight.
Presence there to make a push to the postseason.
Hellier spins. Hellier going along the crease and scores! Toronto retakes the lead.
Colin Doyle spinning, waiting, not having a stick is Manley.
Over the top, out away and scores! My goodness! The patience of Captain Colin Doyle to find Josh Sanderson, and we're all tied up at two.
Team leader in every single word.
Rebound for Howie.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is Kevin Crowley. That's what he can do out of nowhere. Pops from behind the back beauty, and we're all tied up at
8. Support the National Lacrosse League and show the world you're a...
NLL Radio offers the best online radio coverage of the National Lacrosse League. Listen on your smartphone. Just download the popular TuneIn radio app and find NLL Radio. Hear the latest episode of every show anytime on your phone. For more information, visit nll.com/radio.
We're at the half at Rexall Place in Edmonton. Jason Gregor along with Kevin Howard. Out-of-town scoreboard to update you. The Colorado Mammoth. Looks like that's who the Calgary Roughnecks will be facing in the first round of the playoffs. They have an 18-11 lead with a minute to go in that ball game. So they will be traveling to Calgary on the weekend of May 3rd and 4th. And then the Edmonton Rush will travel to either Colorado or Calgary the following weekend for the first game in the West Final. And then we'll be back here in Edmonton on Friday, May 16th. For Game 2 of the Western Final, and of course, if necessary, the extra period with the new playoff format ruling. I do have a question about that, Kevin. They chose 10 minutes. I didn't really understand. Why wouldn't they go 15, a full period in lacrosse?
I really don't know. I can't answer that, but every possession would be so critical in a 10-minute period.
Yeah, basically 2 5s because they'll switch halves, right?
Yeah.
It will be very interesting to say the least. I love it. I think a team that has there's been a lot of first place teams over the years that have lost in the first round of the playoffs. Just on one game, they lose 14-13 in the game of lacrosse. It can be very tight. This allows you to lose a game and still come back, win that second one, and then have to win that extra period. Something tells me we might see a lot of extra periods in the West-East final and potentially even in the Champions Cup.
And that second game, I mean, it's anyone's game, and you better show up to play that second game, because whether you win it or not, you're going to have that period, that next period, that 10-minute period, like you said, or the 2 5s, however it works out. But if you're not on your game, you're not on the game, and it's tough to, just erase that game you just played of a full 60 minutes and then say, okay, let's get this going, let's play for keeps now.
Yeah.
You better show up that day, and I think whoever's winning that second game, my money's on that. If there is a third one period, I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking that game home too.
First half, Calgary comes out with a very different format. You mentioned we didn't see this in the previous games this year. Edmonton was 3-0 against Calgary, outscoring them 45-26. The Roughnecks dress 6 forwards, 10 transition defensive guys, and they have been running the floor all half, Kevin. Really, the minute Edmonton has a shot, they'll leave a guy. Calgary's sending 2 guys up the floor, and it's really wreaked havoc with Edmonton trying to get their defense set up.
Well, traditional fast breaks really have one guy going right to the penalty bench, one guy being an outlet, and then kind of a rover, and you have 2 guys, the top 2 corner defenders, running right off the field. That's traditional. Well, that went right out the window this game, and they have 3 guys, the top 3 guys, streaking straight down the floor, not going to the bench, so that gains them an extra about 15, 20 steps at least, and then they have basically the 2 defenders just, I guess, left to fend for themselves. Chiliano does have a pretty good stick, not the best in the league, but there's another weapon that they can use. Chiliano hitting that guy at center for that quick outlet pass, and they're running in numbers, a quick 3-on-2, 3-on-1, depending on how fast the Edmonton Rush offense gets off to allow their defenders to get out in the field. And there's only been one too many man call. That was against Calgary. John Hornet left the bench early to cut down a fast break caused by Billick stripping the ball from Sean Evans. But other than that, it's been a very clean, fast game. The refs have kept their whistles in their pockets, and it has been very entertaining to watch.
Dixon with 3 goals in that second quarter. He leads the Roughnecks with 3 goals. Veltman has 3 apples. Meanwhile, for Edmonton, Mark Matthews with 3 goals on the night. Robert Church, the only other player with multiple points so far for Edmonton. As you see, Chris Corbeil trying to rally the troops tonight for the Edmonton Rush. Rush record this year, trailing at the half. Calgary, when they lead after the second quarter, Calgary is 6-0. Meanwhile, Edmonton, when they are trailing after the second quarter, they are 2-1. They've only trailed 3 times this year, Kevin, at the half. So Calgary will look to stay perfect in that department. Edmonton looking to improve to 3-1. Interesting, leading after 3 quarters, Calgary's 6-0, Edmonton's 12-0. So whichever team can maybe have the lead at the end of this 15 minutes might have a good chance to win. Edmonton has 1:05 left on the man advantage as we start the third quarter. Edmonton goes from our broadcast right to left. Jason Greger and Kevin Howard with you, and we are underway. Edmonton on the man advantage, and they win possession. Rubish, and he'll just float it to Church with Matthews, Conway, Greer, and Knight. Arnett's, Carnegie, and Manning on defense for Calgary. Edmonton just working around the outside. Now a little motion. Church coming in. Church has the lane. Back to Matthews. Conway, and he took that one right in the breadbasket. And that'll be a shot clock violation. Surprised Matthews didn't shoot.
1 or 2 too many passes, and Riley Lohan had a clear lane to the net too. He elected to pump that up top to Matthews. Matthews had a clear lane. Instead, he elected to just handcuff Corey Conway, who basically had it passed too close into his body, kind of in between his hands and his shaft. Juggled the ball, and Calgary's going to get an opportunity to kill the rest of this penalty off.
And the 2 most dangerous teams when it comes to scoring goals, penalty kill. Now Dixon thrown to the floor. They're going to call a penalty there. I'm not sure on who. That was like a body slam, but what's Cornwall's penalty? Is it going to get unsportsmanlike?
Have a look at what the signal is.
I thought I saw unsportsmanlike. We'll see. No, holding.
It's for holding.
All right.
Interesting call. I mean, they did have him pinned up against the boards, but interesting to see what that call would even be. But, I mean, every call that the refs make here are really just, however they saw it.
So Calgary 1 for 1 in the power play. They come into the best in the league, looking to go 2 for 2 and have a 2-goal lead. Veltman back pedaling. Down low to Evans. Evans with 22 power play assists this year, Kevin. That is 6 more than anyone else in the league. Now here's Mitski running the floor with Corbeil. Mitski to Corbeil. Back to Mitski. Shot off the post. Rebound. And Davis can't control it. And it's picked up by the Roughnecks. Yeah, Sean Evans, the power play goes through him. 22 power play assists. Only 2 other players have more than even 14. That's Billings with 15 and John Grant Jr. with 16. Dixon to Veltman. Doby. Waiting. Pass off a stick. Ricochets right to Dixon. Firing, scores! And Curtis Dixon, a little submarine, faked far side, went short side. He scored 4 of their last 5 goals, and they lead 8-6.
Tough break for Dilks and Corbeil playing the top of that box. They got the stick on it, deflected the ball up high, wasn't able to get a stick on it. Corbeil going over a little late. Step back. Corbeil has to honor the guy up at the top. And Curtis Dixon ropes his 4th of the game. His 3rd straight goal on the power play. A laser from the outside beating Bold to restore their 2-goal lead.
There's Matthews in behind the net. Matthews working on Schneider. Bull rush in front. He put it wide over top of the far post. Now Greer gets it. Zach Greer to Conway. Conway down low to Davis. Davis through the middle. Waiting, shooting. Easy stop by Chiliano. And Cornwall has the rebound. Cornwall. Pass intercepted nicely by Jarrett Davis. Like a defensive back leaping out. Picks it off. Back comes Lowen. Lowen. Sorgetti runs on. To Church. Church through the middle. Shooting. Scores! Snuck one through the pads. Another weak goal by Chiliano, and it's 8-7.
And Church, a sidearm bullet making its way through the 5-hole of Chiliano, one that he really should have had, but really just spun his stick, threw it at his feet, through a couple of big bodies that were screening to cut this lead to 1 with 12 minutes to go in the third. And that was a big pick by Jarrett Davis. He picked off that pass earlier. He's definitely a player that plays bigger than he is, listed at 5'10", but he plays like a 6'2" player, setting big picks and doing a lot of the dirty work.
We'll see if the Rush can tie this game again. Back and forth we go. Matthews across the floor to Conway. Church overruns it. And now Harnett shot it on his own net. Chiliano just got a piece of it. Here comes Calgary with some speed through the middle. Leung to Schneider. Stopped. Rebound controlled by Church. Church with Doby on him. Church protecting the ball. And now Doby falls. Church, the 4-on-3. Church fire, scores! Robert Church picked his spot, ripped it home, and we're tied at 8.
And Robert Church's turn to go on a little run. His second straight goal. And Dane Doby was caught out on the floor again. Good effort by this Edmonton Rush team to run the floor. Church running right over and shooting it with plenty of time left on the 30. Just roping it 5-hole on Chiliano to tie this game at 8.
So Church with 2 goals in 47 seconds. And we are locked up at 8. I can tell you the West playoffs are shaping up to be very exciting. Colorado, since their coaching change, Kevin, has become a much more formidable opponent. Very good team. Calgary, of course, and Edmonton have a long history in the playoffs. That West semifinal in Calgary, for all the Roughneck fans watching right now, definitely a game you want to be at Saddledome. Might have to make the trek down for that, actually. I love playoffs in any sport. Right now, you got the NBA, you got the NHL going on, you got the lacrosse right around the corner. I love this time of year. It's awesome. And the intensity we see tonight is only going to be ratcheted up in a few weeks.
Yeah, if this is anything, what a great game. 8-8, 11-21 to go in the third. Good back and forth battle. And, a lot of bad blood between these teams. A good physical game. Not chippy by any means, but just a good, hard-fought battle. There's going to be a lot of sore bodies walking around the city after this game. Guys are leaving it all on the floor.
Thompson wins it cleanly. Thompson then runs it on long shot and stopped by Chiliano. They're looking to go 5-hole. Now there's a big collision in the corner. 6 players all gum up for it. Matthews, the only one really, he's just waiting at center to see who comes up with it. Now Thompson tries to one-hand it to Mitski. It's thrown out of play. And they're going to say,
oh, I think Edmonton got away with one there.
I agree. I thought Mitski might have thrown that one out, but
he over-cradled it and threw it right into the fifth deck.
Don't tell these teams there's nothing on line tonight. Both have a playoff spot secured. They know when they're playing, and both are playing for a win. Here's Matthews trying the wraparound. Doesn't work. Church picks it up. Church. Back to Lowen. Lowen with some speed now. Spins in, waits. Back to Matthews. Shooting, and he ripped it wide on the far side. Picked up off the boards. Carnegie to Schneider. And now Calgary, one of the rare times we'll see them just trot to center tonight. 4.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. We're tied at 8. Schattler to Doby. Back to Veltman to Doby. Cross to Dixon. He's got the hot stick for the last 5 Calgary goals. Evans, nice move. Now they pass it, intercepted. Here comes Bilic running with Cornwall. Bilic through the floor, and he's caught from behind Veltman. A nice little spear move to jar it out of his pocket. And then the ball wrote. And did you see Jeff Cornwall put on the Jets, Kevin?
Wheels, and you know what? Well, good on Veltman to keep up to him too, but man, Cornwall can turn it on.
And,
wow.
Veltman kind of surprised Bilic, I think, to reach out and jar that one loose. Calgary with possession. Schattler back on the floor, and he had sprinted the floor with Cornwall. These guys are in unreal shape and go end to end. Evans waiting, dumps it underneath, now zings it across to Doby. Backhand pass, missed it wide of the net. And now Evans, that'll be a shot clock violation. And it'll be rush ball as the pace continues to heat up here in Edmonton. We're locked up at 8. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
This copyright telecast of the National Lacrosse League Incorporated may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the National Lacrosse League.
Jason Gregor along with Kevin Howard at Rexall Place in Edmonton. 8-8. The Roughnecks and the Rush. Both teams have their playoff spots secured. Calgary now knows who their opponent will be after Colorado with an 18-12 victory earlier tonight. They will be in Calgary the first weekend in May. Then the winner will play Edmonton in the West Final. The first time ever we'll have a 2-game series in the NLL. If it's split, they will play an extra period to decide who will go to the Champions Cup. Of course, that format, it's a 1-game sudden death in the semifinals and a 2-game in the West and East Division final, and then, of course, for the league title. Crowd into it here. A good crowd as the crowds continue to build here in Edmonton as they near the playoffs. May 16th will be the first ever home playoff date in Edmonton Rush history. As the Rush bring it in. It's Curtis Knight to Matthews with Greer, Davis, and Church. Davis outside to Knight. Knight look to shoot, can't get it. Now pass, Matthews able to knock that down, gets it off the boards. Matthews going around Schneider, fakes it. Spun off, look at it, turn. What a stop, Chiliano, and he might have pulled a hammy coming across. Ouch. He grabbed for it right away. You saw him, foot kind of get locked up in the turf, Kevin. And he reached right away. You hope for his sake, just a little tweak, and he can stay in the game. But you see Mike Poulin already on the Calgary bench limbering up.
What a stop. He was clearly beat. Curtis Knight getting that ball real quick, getting on net, and Chiliano had to be really quick getting it over, and he threw everything, all caution aside, just threw his body out, got fully over there, and this does not look good. He is down, and 2 trainers out there working on finding out exactly where the problem is at. And Poulin grabbing his stick.
So Poulin comes in, he doesn't get any warm-up, Kevin. As a former offensive guy, is there a certain area to shoot on goalies when they come in stone cold?
Underneath the gloves. Goalies don't know where their net is until they really get in the zone. You start, looking around and peripherally, you know where your feet are at, and you have a good, you don't even need to see where you are in the net. You'll get a feeling for it, and that's how goalies actually are and handle it, of course. But underneath their gloves, they don't know, like low posts where they can't shuffle their feet around. They could be lost, and 6 inches makes the world of a difference. That if they aren't familiar and comfortable in their net yet, that's where you send the ball, right in their feet.
So Chiliano comes out. It looked like he wanted to stay in the game. I'm guessing Poulin's just going to be in for a possession maybe, Kevin. We'll see. You see Chiliano on the bench. He hasn't taken any of his gear off.
He's got that back right leg cocked like he's stretching his calf. So maybe it was, the turf is bad for grabbing shoes and really just twisting knees, ankles, and grabbing hold of body parts that are just extremely grippy.
Well, Chiliano staying in. He thought he was going back. Now there's an outside shot from Veltman. Stop. Rebound, Doby. Picked up by Rubish. Rubish floats it ahead to Cornwall. Cornwall now with some speed. Doesn't shoot it. He'll leave it to Davis. Davis takes a hit for McFederich. Let's see if the Rush attack Poulin on their first possession. Knight, Greer. Out there with Lowen, Davis, and Conway. Here's Davis through the middle. Davis shot. Missed the net. And it's picked up by Schneider. Bounces it ahead. McIntosh. And Poulin will stay in. Interesting. They just don't want to risk an injury potentially to their backup. Doby. Ranger. Evans, quick pass near side. Shatler, little spin move. Shatler dumps it in front. Veltman stopped by Bold. Got the shoulder up. As Mitski. Pass. Evans knocks it down, and then Evans, I'm going to say loose ball push. Fans don't like that one. Dixon. Second time tonight. Seen Evans intercept a little floater pass. Zardetti working on Evans. Evans, tight down low, back shot, blocked by Corbeil. Dixon gets it back. Shatler, one-hand reception on that play. Shatler's shot wide on the short side. Evans misses the net, and that'll be a shot clock violation. And it will be Edmonton possession. Church picks it up with some speed. 1-on-2. Church coming in around the defense. Church falls. Leon on him. And then Leon creates a turnover. So Edmonton in two possessions still haven't got a shot on Poulin. Quickly running the floor. Dinsdale, I haven't called his name much tonight. Of course, with 10 defenders. For Calgary tonight, going with real 6 forwards, a few transition guys out. Dinsdale in front. His shot stopped, but he's caught from behind nicely by Thompson. Cornwall picks it up. Cornwall with some speed now. Turns on the Jets, and he'll fly to center. 6:15 to go in the third quarter. We're locked up at 8. Knight.
10.
Into the corner to Davis. Back to Greer. Greer behind the back looking for Davis, and the Rush are going to go 0 for 3 on possessions against. And now it's picked up. Doby shooting right off there, and Bold makes a stop. And now they whistle it in. Calgary moving it around the outside. Evans with a burst around Sorgetti. Gets it back. Dixon scores. Curtis Dixon, the hot stick continues. He's got 5.
And Curtis Dixon, his 4th straight goal. Just picking that up. Hot potato, getting rid of it as soon as it gets into his stick. Rifling that. Good one-handed pass from Sean Evans. Good playmaker and an even better shot, beating Aaron Bold to restore this lead.
Rubish. Loose ball. They lose a rare battle, and it's picked up by Manning. And now Chiliano's back in. Edmonton had 3 offensive sets, Kevin. They didn't get a shot on him. It's been that kind of night offensively. I don't think the Rush are really firing on all cylinders as Bold controls it. Dumps it to LaFontaine, ahead to the captain, Corbeil. Corbeil to Davis. Leaves it for Knight. To Lowen. Lowen makes move, comes in, shot. Stopped by Chiliano. Church gets it back to Davis. Flips it to Knight. Looking for Lowen to try to force the pass. And that'll be Calgary possession.
And McIntosh throwing his body around. 2 big hits Big slide coming in the back, and he laid the boom down on the first time and made Zach Greer pay there for that other shot.
Rush offense tonight, almost not selfish enough, Kevin. Guys passing up really good shooting lanes there. Rubish intercepts a nice pass, and he'll go the other way. And the Rush guys in good shooting lanes have passed it up too much. Here they come again. Now they'll wait. Davis, Greer, and Matthews come on. Wave going in Edmonton. Greer waiting. Late man coming on is Knight. Greer back to Knight. Down low Conway. Waiting across the floor. Pass misses Matthews and Greer, and it's picked up, and here comes Calgary. Leung running quickly. Across the line. Off the bench. Doby firing. Stopped by Bold. He's got Corbeil. Wide open. Here's the captain, Corbeil. Waiting. Scores! Chris Corbeil, second of the night. From a nice pass from the goalie Bold, and we're tied at 9.
Chris Corbeil, that good stick by Aaron Bold, sending it the half the length of the floor, catching it in stride, making no mistake, ripping it past. The first shot on Chiliano since the injury ties this game at 9, his second goal of the game.
Off the draw, Thompson loses his helmet, and you see Schneider just come in right away to try to engage him. And you know Schneider wants to drop him, but Thompson, he fought him once earlier this year and doesn't need to do it again. I gave him credit when he stepped up in a weight class earlier, but you don't really want to fight Schneider twice. And you see Doby on the bench has got to watch it. Ref's got to get control of this in front of the Calgary bench. Gotta love the emotion. Rush and the Roughnecks. We'll return with the final 3:35. We are tied at 9. You're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Get some new team gear for the season by visiting the NLL shop online. Go to shop.nll.com for the best prices and selection on clothing and accessories for all 9 NLL teams. With flat rate shipping and no hassle returns, the NLL shop is the place for all things NLL. Visit shop.nll.com today. Powered by Fanatics.
So Schneider with the only roughing call of that exchange. Maybe gave an extra shot, Kevin, or something, but so the Rush will go on their second man advantage of the night.
A little brutal. Snyder plays with a chip on his shoulder, but he only went after Thompson as soon as he had his bucket off. Smart in some ways, but a little bit dirty, some would say. But refs saw it one way, and he's going to sit down for 2.
So the Rush trying to take a lead. Conway's shot misses on the short side. Now there's a race for Conway. Over the shoulder, catches it. Conway back to Church. Church dumps it to Knight. Shooting. And right again, there's Robert Church in a great shooting error, and he won't release it. No Zach Greer on this power play as he's getting attended to on the Rush bench. So Lowen takes his spot. Looks like he might have a cramp. There's a corner. Dixon flirting with the center line, and he's pushed and he stays onside. Shatler. That would have been over and back. Mentioned Calgary leads the league in shorthanded goals with 10. Edmonton's only given up 4. They've scored 9 themselves. Dixon, and now they'll let it go.
30-second shot clock violation.
30-second shot clock violation.
A good battle behind Shatler and Dilks going at it, and Shatler still jawing him as he gets off the floor.
Now Greer comes back. They keep Lowen on, and it's Churchill, a different line, listen assembly here. Matthews at the top, well over the net. Rebound, Greer. Missed the net, shooting. What a save! Chiliano from his rear end robs Curtis Knight. That should be over and it's going to say over and back. Now Doby picks it up. And now they whistle it in, and Doby is irate, wondering what the late whistle is for. He wouldn't shoot. Now they intercept it. What was going on? Why did the refs blow the whistle? Here comes Edmonton. Rubish. Back to Matthews. And he just spins off, won't shoot it. Rush with 20 seconds. What an exchange. What a stop by Chiliano. That's got to be on the NLL highlights of the week for sure. Matthews to Church. Big give and go. Now Matthews down low to Lowen. Back to Matthews. Firing. Chiliano kicks out the leg. Ball into the corner. And Matthews shovels it back to Greer. Now we're back to 5-on-5. Rusher 0 for 2. And Calgary, number 1 in the league in the penalty kill, just continues to improve. Church, low shot, misses the net, and that will be over and back. And the Rush make wholesale changes, as does Calgary. Minute 18 to go, and a highly entertaining game tonight. Dobie dumps it back to Veltman. Dixon looking for the sock trick. He's got 5. Over to Dobie. Over to Dixon. Dixon, back high, Dobie. Scored his 48th of the season earlier. Dobie back out to Shatler. Shot misses the net. And it's picked up, and here's Cornwall. He's got a breakaway. Cornwall across the line. Into the slot. Wade shoots. Stopped by Chiliano. Makes the save. Was able to slide with them. And Ranger has it. Chiliano, after some early struggles, Kevin, has really come on big here for Calgary.
Some spectacular saves. Have been hung to dry a couple times. Good point-blank saves and a breakaway save there. Man, he's standing on his head.
Excuse me, with a weak overhead shot. Edmonton will have the final possession of the third quarter. They will try to take the lead going into the final frame. They are 12-0 when they lead after 3 quarters this year. So this could be a huge goal. We'll see. Down to 7 seconds. Now Greer. Greer to Davis. He's got a lane, and he whistled it well over top of the net. Rush got to hurry. Schneider rips it, and it's wide. There's 0.04 seconds in, and we go to the final frame, tied at 9. These teams, Calgary's 1-1 when tied after 3 quarters. The Rush are 1-0. Stick around, find out what happens in the final 15 minutes as you're watching Lacrosse Network.
The next Edmonton Rush home game is on Friday, April 25th, as the Rush hosts the Vancouver Stealth here at Rexall Place. Game time is 7:30 p.m. Tickets for this and the first ever Rush home playoff game on Friday, May 16th at 8 p.m. are now on sale. Visit EdmontonRush.com to order yours today.
And we are set to go the 4th and final quarter tonight at Rexall. Schneider and Thompson, no one giving a millimeter right now. Battling on the faceoff dot. They've been there for 13 seconds. Now finally Thompson tries to undercut him. Ball's loose, and it's picked up by Bilic. And that just symbolizes what type of battle it's been between these two teams tonight. And Bilic pass intercepted. He tried to float it back. Calgary's intercepted 3 of those tonight. And here comes Harnett. Just loping. And the Ranger has it at center. Veltman, Shatler, Dobie, and Evans. Coming out is Shatler to Evans. Dilks right on him. Evans falling. Stripped. Goes back to Shatler. Shovel pass. Hit up stick. Now here's Knight playing defense. Knight comes up with it. Corbeil has it. Corbeil's got a break. Corbeil ahead to Knight. Waiting. Shooting. Scores. What a little stutter step by Curtis Knight to make it a 10-9 game.
Good fast break goal in transition, Curtis Knight. And that move he put on. Normally guys are going to fake low and come back over top. Kind of the dip and dunk. But he faked hard low. Chiliano didn't fall for it. And he went to jump to stop that dunk. And Curtis Knight put it right down low again where he just faked to take the lead at 10, a minute 4 into this final frame.
So the Rush leading 10-9. Here come the Roughnecks. Dixon, the hot stick, coming in. Dixon, and he dives, puts it over top of the net. Bold might have got a piece of it. Ball's loose in the corner. Rubish And he's able to come up with it. As Edmonton slowly to center. Calgary only had 8 shots in the third quarter. We didn't see the Edmonton had obviously not allowed that transition as much. Here's Lowen. Lowen, shovel pass, had a wide open night, missed him. Conway gets it off the boards. Conway underneath Dinsdale and elected to just stop. He had a lane to the net and for some reason stopped going. And now Dinsdale for Calgary. Dilks comes out, gets right on his hand, so Dinsdale shovels it to Evans. To Ranger. Dixon comes on. Dixon shooting, Bold. Just went through him, but Bold spun around, held it out. LaFontaine bumps it ahead to Mitski. Mitski to Matthews. Far side Davis. Back to Matthews. To Knight. In front, Greer. Waiting. Scores! Wow! What a shot by Zach Greer.
Zach Greer, great ball movement by this Rush offense. And an unbelievable finish. Tic-tac-toe. Matthews gives it cross crease, finds a breaking Zach Greer. Something we haven't seen this Rush offense do a lot of is break off ball. Zach Greer gets it. Fake. Over the shoulder fake. And of course, a big Chiliano bites on that. Opens up just enough room for Zach Greer to put that short side top shelf to pull ahead by 2.
So Greer now with 30 goals. The Rush with 3 30-goal scorers this season. Matthews with 30 and Knight now with 33. And Thompson pushes it forward. Leon and him battle and Rubish comes up with it. To Cornwall. Cornwall with some speed turns on the Jets across the line. Cornwall firing, scores! Jeff Cornwall, the Rush have erupted in the fourth quarter.
Great bury by Jeff Cornwall, and I was going to mention how much of an element his speed brings to this game. If he didn't bury that, he would have opened an opportunity for someone else to get that chance, but he takes that all alone right in from half, making no mistake, bearing it 5-hole on Chiliano for the Edmonton Rush 12th goal of the game.
Well, the Rush with 3 goals in a minute 54 to take the lead. And we have a goaltending change. Poulin's in. Rubish with the assist. We'll see if the Rush get a shot. This is Poulin's second appearance tonight. Chiliano was hurt a little earlier. Poulin was in for 3 offensive sets but didn't face a shot. So we'll see what he does tonight. Now we got a penalty coming up to Calgary, so he's going to have to face a power play most likely, or an extra attacker as Davis comes on. Greer coming in, shooting, Poulin's shoulder stop. Davis can't get to the ball, but Church does. They reset the clock, 6-on-5 still for Edmonton. Matthews dumps it to Greer, fires! Just got through Poulin into the corner. Loose ball push. Not sure why they whistled it down, but it'll be a penalty coming up. Schneider's going to sit for 2, and Edmonton will go on their 3rd power play. They're 0 for 2.
And Schneider was going to work on Matthews there. They were battled, squared up right on the sideboards, and Schneider was teeing off on his wrist. Something you hate as an offensive guy, because you're standing there in your spot where you should be waiting for something to happen, not clogging up the middle, and Schneider was just working him over. You might see maybe a low pick coming from Billick or Davis. I mean, that's the one way some of these offensive guys can get back at these defenders that just tee off on them, is setting good hard picks.
Knight. Now Matthews just takes a punch From Hart. And I wonder, Kevin, we've talked about this. You know, Mark Matthews, big. It's like, I look at John Grant and Kevin Doyle, the big offensive guys. Eventually, you have to stand up for yourself and give it back. Do you not? If the defense knows you'll always get away, eventually, don't you have to say enough's enough?
You do. And, you know, and he might not win any battles, like real scraps on finesse by any means, but he's strong enough to kind of manhandle and, you know, take care of himself. Snyder, a very experienced fighter, has been in a lot of tilts and dropped a lot of heavies. Yeah. But for some of these other guys like a Harnett or a McIntosh, he should be able to hold his own and at least dictate the fight on pure strength.
Like you see, you know, Sean Evans, for not very big, but Evans maybe one of the best middleweights in the league. You look at eventually his second year, I see a lot of defensemen taking as much liberty as they can. And eventually I think you have to say, hey, I'm going to stand up for myself. So Matthews. Pass intercepted by John Harnett. Went right in his pocket. Now Knight coming back. Knight, great speed to strip it, but it bounces right to Evans. Now flip pass off the bench. Ranger diving, and Bold makes the save. Then he headmans it out to center to Church. What speed by Knight to create that turnover originally. Rush still on the man advantage for another 40 seconds. Knight, Church, Matthews, Greer, and Lowen. So Church in tight, shot stop by Poulin. Rebound. Greer battling for it. Now there's a loose ball out to center. And Cornwall picks it up for Calgary, shovels it ahead to Manning. And that will likely do it for the remainder of this power play. So the Rush will go 0 for 3. Something to watch for. Special teams come playoff time. And Calgary, the best in the league in both categories right now. Dixon. And we are back to 5-on-5 as Dixon tries to come out of the corner, dives, sharp angle, put it over top of the net. Rubish gets to the ball. And when we return, it'll be Rush possession. They lead 12-9 as you're watching the National Lacrosse League on the Lacrosse Network.
Well, the Calgary Roughnecks, it's been settled, will host the Colorado Mammoth in the West Division semifinal playoff game at the Scotiabank Saddledome. The game is on Saturday, May 3rd at 7 p.m. Get your tickets for the game by visiting CalgaryRoughnecks.com.
Jason Gregor and Kevin Howard, we're thinking playoffs. Of course, the East playoff picture has been set as well. Rochester with a victory tonight over Buffalo. We know the three teams. We don't know who's playing where, as Buffalo and Toronto are battling for a home floor advantage in the East semi. It'll come down to the final weekend. Dixon scores, and there's the sock trick on the power play. 14 seconds in, and they're within 2.
Curtis Dixon with his 5th straight goal on the power play. Little rough stuff after that goal. Corbeil getting in there along with Rubish. You know, Evans is right in the middle of it too. But getting back to that goal, good ball movement, couple quick picks. Dane Doby passing over right on the top, and a laser beam from the top. Curtis Dixon sidearm, feeding Aaron Bold, little unsettled, right underneath that glove. Maybe through a couple bodies, but power play goal for this red-hot, top-ranked power play unit for the Calgary Roughnecks.
Calgary 2 for 3 on the man advantage, and they're a perfect 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. They have dominated special teams tonight. Shots 44-34 Edmonton. And Dixon has scored 5 straight goals. Basically, since the second quarter, Calgary has scored 7 goals. Dixon has 6 of them. Evans. Now he's going to come in with some speed. Evans scores! Right through a screen. And the Roughnecks are within 1.
Wow, Evans just taking it upon himself. Had Dilks all over his hands, and Dilks went for the can opener. Kind of a make-or-break move. Had his stick in there, trying to pry the shaft out of his hands. Evans showing great strength to hold on to that stick. And just a pretty weak goal just inside the restraining line. Lets her go, beating Bold 5-hole. Bold had a real good look at that, real weak one, but pulling within one with 8:25 to play in this game.
And now Calgary comes back with 2 goals in 31 seconds. So back and forth we go. Thompson and Schneider off the draw. They both sprawl out, and Schneider wins it. What a battle those two have had on the face-off dot tonight. Manning to Dixon. Dixon and Evans have scored the last 8 goals for Calgary. Evans to Dixon. Dixon spinning, and he missed wide on the far side. Beltman gets it off the glass, back to Evans. Evans looking for Beltman, scores! And just like that, we are tied at 12.
What a goal. Great. This offense is on fire right now. Beltman cashing that one in. But of course, Evans is right in the mix, and these 3 top bodies, high-powered offense, just slips right in behind. LaFontaine not able to keep up to him. Good break, good snag by Peter sorry, not Peter Veltman, but rather Daryl Veltman beating Bold. Right back in this, we're tied at 12.
So Edmonton had 3 goals in a minute 54 in this quarter, and then Calgary now has 3 in a minute, and we are tied at 12. Calgary comes in again, and then Dobie goes crashing into Aaron Bold. Bold's not happy. Bold not happy as Dobie clearly came in late, releases the ball, then just continues 2 steps into the goalie. And watch Dobie here try to sell this. Like Bold pushes the net and Dobie in somersaulting over like he'd been catapulted in. And now Dobie comes into Bold, and you got to get in his face. See, that's Dobie's going to get the initial call here for sure, because he came right back and initiated that.
And it looks like he is calling both. Rubish standing right beside Bold. So Dane Dobie, quite the mouthpiece, getting up and, of course, giving him an earful, just a part of his game to get under the skin. Extremely talented player, can back up whatever he is chirping. 2 roughing calls. It's just Dane Dobie sitting down right now.
The rush. Davis is going to serve the penalty for Bold. It's going to be coincidental.
Well, it did look like they called Rubish to begin with, and Rubish was heading that way as he was standing right beside Bold. But the in-home sits down for
the designated in-house. So we will play 4-on-4, and the emotions running high. These teams trying to send a message for the playoffs. It's not guaranteed they'll meet. Of course, Colorado has a lot to say about that in the West semifinal. But Edmonton knows they will face either Calgary or Colorado in the West final.
Serving the penalty for the rush is number 23,
Ranger.
Jared Davis.
To Evans. Evans back out high, Ranger. Shatler back to Evans. Evans now shovels it. Hit a body, and it goes to Mitski. Mitski. Bounce pass ahead, and Cornwall had a breakaway. Him and Corbeil 2-on-1. Cornwall gets to it. Doesn't force it. Now he'll wait. Right in front. Scores! Chris Corbeil on a nifty pass from Curtis Knight. Corbeil's hat-trick goal, and the Rush lead 13-12.
Well, Chris Corbeil showing all sorts of offense, getting caught out there for running the floor. There was 3 bodies down there, couple good opportunities. They had Manning caught out there without a stick, waving his arms around, and Corbeil goes down, finds himself right on the crease, bearing it in between the legs of a sprawling Mike Poulin. Couldn't make that stop to regain this lead.
Now Schneider comes in a shot. Stopped by Bold. Rebound. Village controls it. Village across the floor to Matthews. Matthews to Lowen. Well, the game of runs continues. We'll see if the Rush can get one of their own. Manning was picked hard. Now in front. Greer waits off the goal post. Cornwall and Lowen rush for it. They all overrun it. Now Lowen, that's right in the back. Yes, indeed. Loose ball push, so that'll be Lowen possession. Lowen has it. Crowd into it here at Rexall. It's been a fantastic game. The Rush and the Roughnecks. Knight on McFedrich. Knight through the middle. Doesn't shoot it. Back to Greer. Down low to Lowen. Lowen to Greer. And now Manning's down. That's a big pick from Matthews.
It looks Curtis Manning holding his shoulder, maybe collarbone area.
I'd have to see a replay, see exactly what happened. Is it his wrist? Shoulder, I'm not sure. Haven't seen a replay yet.
Well, when you have Mark Matthews listed at 6'5", 230 pounds, when he's setting big picks, if you aren't fully aware where he's at, you can get trolley tracked in a hurry.
Well, there's Greer ringing it off the goalpost. But haven't seen this one. Manning. He looks in some distress for sure. One of Calgary's lead defenders. Definitely can't afford to lose him for the playoffs. He'll be back. So here we go. 6 minutes remaining. 13-12 Edmonton. Evans across. Schattler tried a quick stick and he missed it. Beltman gets it off the boards. Back to Dixon. Down low, Evans with Corbeil all over him. Corbeil gets underneath him. Now Dixon fires. Bold way out to challenge. Makes the save. Rebound. Cornwall scoops it up. Now Cornwall. Cross center. He won't force it. He'll just slow it down. Leave it for Church. Church. Pass. Intercepted. Here comes Schneider the other way. Schneider. By himself. Wisely just dumps it off. He'll head to the bench. Schattler back to Ranger. Coming on late is Beltman. And Evans. Here's Evans coming in. Back to Schattler. Fakes a shot. Fires down as Bold. Rebound. Beltman gets to it. Knight's on him. Beltman comes out of the corner. And then he jumps in behind the net. Beltman gets popped after he passed it. He's back up. Under 5 minutes to go now.
Notice on this right side, you have Curtis Knight and Riley Lowen, or Church, caught out there, and you have Schattler on the floor. I don't know why they aren't giving him the ball and attacking that side.
Now Church taken down, but it's picked up by LaFontaine. Church and Evan did pretty good defense, and now they didn't get across center in time, so when we come back, it will be Roughneck possession. They trail by 1 on the Lacrosse Network. You're watching the National Lacrosse League.
So once our game ends tonight, jump over to the universalsports.com and watch the Vancouver Stealth battle the Philadelphia Wings. The score is currently Vancouver 8, Philadelphia 6. The game is available to all fans in Canada at universalsports.com. Fans in the U.S. can watch the game live with a subscription to Universal Sports Network. If you don't get the channel, call your cable or satellite provider today and tell them you want Universal Sports Network.
4:34 to go. Jason Gregor along with Kevin Howard. 13-12. Rush leading the Roughnecks in what has been an absolutely spectacular game. Dixon, who has a sock trick tonight. They go in front looking for Doby. Missed it. Evans gets it off the boards. Evans, Cornwall stays with him. Now Dixon with a big pick. And they can't get the ball to him. Rubish comes up with it. Rubish now running the floor with Matthews. 2-on-1. Rubish to Matthews just behind him. And then Matthews, they're going to give it to Calgary. Loose ball interference, so it'll be Calgary possession. Rubish You can see why he wanted to pass it to the big man there. Rubish in a battle with John Lintz, looking neither one has a goal, and he looked him off there wisely. If he had scored, the bench would have erupted. Here's Ranger. Pass. Misses Schattler. Gets it right off the boards. In front, Doby, and it just trickles off his pocket. To Bold. Whale over the head of LaFontaine. And it's picked up by Calgary. 3.5 minutes to go. Dixon comes on, and you got to think they're going to get it to the hot stick. He has 6 goals tonight. Coming around in front, backhander, and stopped by Bold. Great effort by Evans as LaFontaine trots across center. Matthews walking in, shot off a stick. The Rush, the last 3 offensive possessions, haven't got a shot on net. Schneider. Church now trying to catch him. Church falls. Schneider comes in, fires off a Bold's leg into the corner. Dixon comes out of the corner. Won't shoot it. Back to Doby. Calgary, lots of time. They settle it down. Church out there again. You mentioned Schattler. You wonder if they'll attack him this time, Kevin.
Yeah, Church caught down low. You know, no better time than when you have an offensive guy caught out there to attack him on a 2-man game.
And Matthews, there's a shot. Dixon misses wide. Doby, and that's a shot clock violation. The Rush had 2 offensive guys out there again. Pretty good defensive set. Well, the Rush, they got to get a shot. Haven't had a shot in the last 4 minutes. Well, here comes Davis. Tonight with Conway, Lowen, and Greer. Lowen to Greer. Greer through the middle, dumps it back. Knight around the defense. Pass knocked down again by Calgary, but it goes to Conway. Conway back to Davis to Greer. Greer around his man. Shoots, scores! Zach Greer cuts under McFedridge and rips it far post to give Edmonton a 2-goal lead.
Well, that just set up perfectly for a one-on-one isolation play. We had a good vantage point from this right on the sideboards. Zach Greer gets it, takes on McFedridge one-on-one and beats him. Spin move around and a diving goal past Poulin. An insurance marker, only up 2 with 1:55 to play. We're in for a strong finish.
Last 2 minutes of the game, all goals are automatically reviewed.
Yes, of course, people wondering why this one's reviewed. Every goal in the last 2 minutes of the game now reviewed. I like this rule, Kevin, understanding because you, now unless it's painfully obvious, and this one, that might not be a goal.
It looks.
Yeah, that might not be a goal.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to say Zach Greer's leg actually, now it's his right foot lands before. That's no goal.
I think that's no goal. I'm going to say no goal.
As long as Stripes sees what we're seeing, his foot is clearly landed, not from that angle.
No, that angle doesn't show it.
But his foot is planted and the ball is just leaving his stick.
Yeah, watch his right leg there, down. Yeah, I don't think that's a goal.
And the ball was right at the top of the H of the Tim Hortons sign. So they do take a good couple looks at it and...
No goal. Yes.
So a huge no goal. Calgary now has the ball, only down 1, 13-12 with 1:55 to play. Instead of having to dig out of a 2-goal deficit, it's just 1, and they have the ball in their sticks. Huge possession here for Calgary.
Under 2 minutes to go, 1-goal game. Poulin stays in net. Doby to Beltman. Mitski on him. Near side Evans. Evans comes down with some speed. Across, Schattler missed the quick stick. Now Rubish has it. Out to center to Mitski. And Mitski, he'll just slow it down. To Lowen. With Knight, Church, Greer, and Matthews. Shot clock down to 11. Knight coming in with some speed. Church now picked up. He'll go back to Lowen. Down low, Matthews across. Shooting! Stopped by Poulin. Schneider has it. And Knight's pushed from behind. Schneider with some speed, running the floor. Schneider on Dilks. Tries the bull rush move. This time Dilks is ready for it. And Schneider just holds on. Schneider walking the line. That's over and back. That was over and back, and the ref didn't see it.
A terrible non-call.
So the Roughnecks, extra attacker on. Now in front, David scores! Sean Evans rips it home after the Roughnecks get a call in their favor. The refs didn't see the over and back, and we are tied at 13.
Well, Stripes was backpedaling, more worried about his footwork than watching the footwork of Snyder tiptoeing that line, and they're showing that replay on the big screen here, and you'll hear the fans erupt in anger.
Right there, that's obvious. Like, it's right in front of him. That's not even close.
Of course, they moved the ball down, find Evans right in the middle, had his back kind of posting up, and a fadeaway goal squeaking in.
So Dobie and Veltman, and we are locked up at 13. That's pretty obvious, but it's a quick game, hard to officiate. It's tough to catch everything. Give Calgary credit. When you get a break, you got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, when called upon, they bury good ball movement, getting it to Veltman coming off the bench, and him just looking right in the middle of the floor. And there's Johnny on the spot. The ball seems to just find him, and he got to be.
Just goes like Bold had it, and then it just trickled across the line. The goal will count, obviously.
Got to be good to be lucky, and Evans has done his share of damage here tonight. Now tying this game at 13 with 46.3 seconds to play in the game. Huge face-off coming up.
So Schneider and Thompson. And they're going to say Thompson moved early. So Calgary with possession. They could take the lead. Rubish, Mitski, Corbeil, Cornwall, and Dilks out against Schattler, Dobie, Evans, Dixon, and Veltman. Best offense in the league against the best defense in the league. That's what we come down for. Evans, Dixon. Dixon backpedaling, down to 10 seconds on the shot clock. Dixon to Veltman. Now in front. Ball's turned over. Edmonton has it. They're going to call a timeout. They are. And the rush. Wow, Calgary didn't even get a shot. What a defensive set by the rush. And now the offense will have an opportunity to send the crowd home happy. 11.9 seconds to go. They will pull the goalie, go with the extra attacker.
Good defensive stand, and this Edmonton Rush defense just clamped down hard. They tried to post up a couple bodies. That's where they had the success with the Evans goal, but they just clamped down hard. Rubish came down, and they held their own enough to just, no shot. Ball turned over, 11.9 seconds left. They call the timeout. Now they'll get 6 bodies. Aaron Bold will be on the bench, and you see Jeff McComb drawing up his best 6-on-5 play. He's got his troops ready. They know what they're going to do. You'll watch someone hold the ball right till about the 6-second mark. They'll have one chance, one play. I would like to guess of who you think Jason's going to have the ball in their stick to take that shot. Usually a broken play that happens. But I would like to think, I think Zach Greer is going to become open on the crease, and they'll find him backdoor. Usually, the Rush play a 6-man, one guy in the middle, and here Conway does go in the middle.
Oh, here the Rush. They got to hurry down to 7 seconds. Church to Matthews. Across, and Davis dropped it, and we're going to overtime. Can't get the shot away. To me, a little too lackadaisical. And we will go to overtime. The Rush are 1-0 in overtime this season with a 8-7 victory over Rochester earlier this year. Calgary is 0 for 2, having lost to Colorado 14-13 back on January 25th, and also Colorado again 10-9, which makes that playoff game even more interesting. Calgary and Colorado have had some very tight games this season. And so Edmonton trying to remain perfect at home. Calgary also trying to remain perfect on the road in game. Not perfect, but they've been outshot in every road game they played this year, Kevin. They're 4-3. And they've been outshot again tonight, 47-43. But this game is tied.
And Mike Poulin staying in the pipe. Shiliano little shaky early, came in, was standing on his head for a while, had a little bit of an injury. We don't exactly know what it was. Looked like maybe a calf or a calf strain. Mike Poulin, he couldn't put it back together. Mike Poulin came in and has been solid. Big story right now is, I guess, the non-call or the missed call by the officials and allowing Evans to get that ball and tie it up. Late in the game, 46 seconds left, they tied it up. And here we go. We go to overtime, and of course, Keenan will be irate if his squad can't pull this together. However, this is always a good thing for teams. Show them in the regular season. That's time to test your team, test their mental toughness, put them in all situations. And this is never a bad thing when all the marbles on line, one goal wins. So
here we go. Thompson and Schneider. Rush have scored a goal the first minute of the first and second quarter tonight. Thompson and Schneider, no one given a millimeter here. Trying to move it. Thompson trying to get some better leverage. He's looking behind him to see where he can go. Schneider's trying to crank it, and now Thompson went for it. Ball's still on the floor. Everybody's trying to bunch in it. Ball's is loose, and it's picked up by the Rush Corbeil. Edmonton with the first possession of overtime. Tonight, Matthews, Conway, Greer, and Church will come on. Remember, Mark Matthews won the game against Rochester. Matthews up against Schneider. Matthews back to Knight. Down low to Conway. Conway in front to Greer. Greer gets it off the boards. 8 seconds in the shot clock. Back to Conway. Conway. Greer. Backhander. What a stop by Poulin on a shot by Zach Greer. What a play.
And really, Poulin just had to act big. He had no idea where that was going because Zach Greer didn't even know where it was going. He just wanted to get it on net.
Evans and Dixon have played the two-man game outstanding on the left side of the floor. They're both righties, so you got to watch those two. Here's Evans to Dixon. Dixon wants the ball. Back to Evans in front, shooting Beltman. What a save by Bold. And here comes Mitski. He's got Cornwall. Mitski across the line. In front, Davis shot. A weak one. Now Davis battling, and he overran it. Kicks it. Evans stayed on the floor, and here comes Cornwall. End-to-end action in OT. Both teams have secured playoff spots. Rush in first, Calgary in second, so this one is just for bragging rights. Trying to send a message for a potential playoff matchup. Dixon on Dilks. Jarrett Davis now, one of the best forwards to play defense on the team. Doby wide open. Doby coming in. Shot stopped. Rebound controlled by Corbeil. Corbeil flying through center. Dumps it back to Matthews. Matthews, little stutter jump through the middle. Fires! Poulin kicks that one out of play. So it'll be a new 30-second shot clock. We play 2.5 of OT. Conway to Church. Church to the big man Matthews. Pass knocked down by Leung. And they fire it over the head. Now it's a race for the loose ball. Thompson and Schneider. Schneider gets to it. Bounce pass out to center, and Dilks, he has it for Edmonton. Dilks, he's got a breakaway. Dilks shooting, stop by Poulin. What a play by Dilks. What a stop by Poulin. We have seen it all in OT. Shots 3-2 in overtime. Rush again to the Roughnecks. We played 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Here's Veltman to Schattler. Schattler wide open across the floor, firing, stopped by Bold, no rebound. He'll hold it. This feels like a playoff atmosphere tonight. The fans, I think every Alberta fan's hoping for an Edmonton-Calgary West final. Colorado, of course, could have a lot to say about that. Here's Matthews. Bold looking like he was going to go to the bench. They elect not to. Church, Lowen, back to Church. Church to Matthews. Matthews to Lowen. Matthews across the night, and he ripped it overhead. Now it's picked up by Calgary. Matthews played a lot of the perimeter, Kevin, in this overtime.
Maybe he's thinking twice about all that damage he took in the third quarter. standing around on the inside. He elects maybe to stand back a little bit and let his teammates do a little bit of the work. But phenomenal defense that set.
Now here's a shot, they score, and it's Dixon with his 7th goal of the night right through Bold, and the Roughnecks win 14-13.
Curtis Dixon on fire. That sidearm shot had Bold's number all night, and just a fadeaway putting the dagger in the Edmonton Rush. Unbelievable game. All the fans here at Rexall were treated to an absolute dandy. Everyone watching at home, good hard pick, and ends 10:47 to play in OT. Good high octane, good high pace to this game, and Calgary Roughnecks finish it. And you have the Superman signed by Curtis Dixon. Phenomenal effort, great game by both squads, and the Necks come out victorious.
So Calgary trailing. There was 9-9 to start the fourth quarter. Edmonton scored 3 goals in a minute and 54 seconds to go up 12-9. Then Calgary came back 4 minutes later and scored 3 goals in a minute to make it 12-12. Then Edmonton took the lead. Calgary comes back, ties it on a controversial goal that clearly was over and back against Calgary. It was a missed call. Calgary scores, goes to overtime, and Curtis Dixon, who really turned things up, scoring his 35th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 40th, and 41st goals tonight for the Calgary Roughnecks. And they win 14-13, ruining Edmonton's chance at a perfect home season. They were 7-0. They have their final home game again next Friday night, Kevin, and they were looking to go 9-0.
Unreal finish, but this Edmonton team's got a lot to learn, and they'll go back to the drawing board. Well, they let in 14 goals tonight, something that they've done very few times this season. So putting up 13 is great, but they're going to have to tighten up the defense. And they saw a totally different Calgary team than they've seen all season. And if they are going to see them in the playoffs again, well, they've seen another angle of them and see what they're capable of. So they definitely need to sharpen up. Take a look at one or two things to adjust in practice and change their game plan a wee bit and expect different views and looks from this team in red.
Calgary, Colorado, in Calgary, Saturday night, May 3rd. Then the Edmonton Rush, they know their home playoff schedule. Their first game will be May 16th, a Friday night. They don't know who they're playing. It'll either be Calgary or Colorado. And due to the new schedule, the Rush, even though they finish first, will actually start on the road. I know why they do that, because they claim that if it's tied after 2 games, the extra OT is on the home floor. What do you think of that, Kevin? Do you think that's something where would you want to start at home? Would you want the first game at home in a West final, or do you want that second game at home?
I would like a true best of 3. I mean, but of course, seeing if I had a choice of either or, I would prefer starting at home, actually, and you get that momentum and, like you said, set the tone and really show them how, set the tone of this series and how it's going to be played. I think it still leaves that second game too much to chance. If the home team, if Edmonton doesn't show up to play, they can win on the road in Calgary or in Colorado, but coming back home, if they don't show up to play, you're still leaving a lot to chance that you're going to have your A squad there that game, or Aaron Bold shows up to play. There's a lot of factors that can go wrong, and typically do in many cases, but if you blow that second game, you're going to OT with the same group, the same day, on 10 minutes break, and you just can't hit the reset button just like that. When players are hot, like Curtis Dixon tonight, I mean, going into that other overtime, expect him to put up 2 or 3 goals in that 10-minute span like he did. He put up 7 goals in a 40-minute span. He put up 7 goals. So, I mean, for a guy who's got the hot stick like that, it's very beneficial. And this Edmonton team, they just didn't seem to have it together on offense. Mark Matthews, you mentioned it in the OT, very content to stay to the perimeter. Guys just weren't cutting. I mean, Chris Corbeil did have the hat trick tonight, but a lot of the other, as the Rush have been all season, a lot of their goals have been spread out. They do get goals and lots of contributions from many players, but there wasn't one or two real go-to guys, and it just seemed like guys weren't willing to pay the price tonight. Off the bench, a lot of their transition, I have to say, Jeff Cornwall was the Rush MVP in my mind. I mean, Corbeil had a phenomenal game, but Cornwall just created so much off of the bench in transition. But the other guys, like a Jarrett Davis, their strength is coming off the bench, and Church and Riley Lohan, the crashing and the banging, the guys that go right off the bench, right down the middle, that creates a vacuum, and guys' heads have to turn, and that creates so many opportunities for other guys. But that secondary stuff wasn't there tonight. Cornwall had a hell of a game, but they obviously just couldn't keep pace with the hot sticks of Dixon, and of course everything was going through Sean Evans like it typically does on this Calgary offense.
So Dixon and Dobie now, 2 40-goal scorers for the Calgary Roughnecks on the season. The Rush with 3 30-goal men now on the year. And Evans finishes tonight's game with 3 goals and 3 assists. So he goes into the final game of the season, and he will need 6 assists to break his franchise record of 85 to tie it. And Dane Dobie, for Calgary fans, will need 2 goals to tie the Lewis Ratcliffe record of 50 and 3 to break it next week when they wrap up their season. Vancouver's in Edmonton Friday and then in Calgary on Saturday. The playoff spots have been set in the West. Colorado will travel to Calgary first weekend of May on Saturday night, and then the following weekend the winner will host Edmonton. In the East, Rochester will wait to find out Buffalo or Toronto. Rochester plays Buffalo, Toronto plays Minnesota in the final weekend. So it's coming down to the final weekend in the East. And also the Rush actually have some interest in watching the other games, Kevin, because they still own, due to the Brody Merrill trade, Philadelphia's first-round selection in this draft, which is right now automatically a top 3 pick. But Vancouver victorious tonight, there's a chance that pick, if they are victorious, there's a chance that pick could end up being a number 2 even for the Rush. So while they're finishing first, they have an opportunity to get another very good young player at the draft.
Wow, the rich get richer, and that worked out to be. It was kind of heartbreaking seeing Brody Merrill, one of the great players in the game, leave Edmonton. And but you know what? Hats off to Derek Keenan and his group to get the picks that they did and get the players that they did. Unfortunate situation of how the Iannucci thing really panned out in the Paul Rabel, but you know what? Look at them now.
Well, that gave them Mark Matthews, Chris Corbeil out of that trade. They're going to get another first-round pick this year. They got their backup goalie, Brody McDonald. They got Alex Turner. They've had a lot.
Silver linings to a lot of this, that you think it's a tough situation, but they persevered. And Derek Keenan's added some really key pieces to this puzzle, and they've obviously put it together this season. Fortunately, just hope they can peak at the right time, of course, or the entire season goes for naught. Everything matters in the playoffs. They do have that very important top seeding position right through the playoffs, including for the finals, but they don't get stuck in that one-game playoff, which Calgary and Colorado will match up, and anything can happen in that one game. Calgary's incredibly dangerous, but if Calgary plays like they did tonight against anyone in this league, they're gonna give them problems. And,
their special teams are best in the league, power play and the penalty kill. Colorado, though, since that coaching change, they've really come on. They lit up Minnesota for 18 goals tonight. Adam Jones is back healthy for them. They've got John Grant Jr. Their defense seems to have solidified themselves a little bit. I think that's going to be an outstanding game, and all the playoffs in the NLL will be great. You can continue to watch the game for Rush fans. Curious to see about a draft pick potentially. You can watch Vancouver and Philadelphia right now on the Lacrosse Network. On behalf of our on-site engineer, Troy Bowler, my colorman, Kevin Howard, I'm Jason Gregor. Once again, the final score in overtime from Calgary, the Roughnecks 14, the Rush 13. Good night.